Can I dress up as Rick Grimes?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Carl.
Totally. So, Last of Us. HBO Max. It is a very popular adaptation of a video game that I'm sure you never played.
Accurate.
Okay. It was fantastic back in the day.
Didn't they come out with it? So I did some research because
Yeah.
obviously I need to know a little bit about it. Obviously, the first game came out in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And then
Before
it's
that-
had some other.
Remasters.
Yeah, some like
It comes
other-
out on PS4.
whatever it is,
It was
yeah.
remastered on PS4. It was remastered on PS5.
Still a
and that
very
just dropped.
expensive game because whatever one that just came out is like $70.
Yeah. And I've yet to play that one. I still want to because it's been so long since I played it. But I was looking forward to this show because Neil Druckmann, who created the actual game, the story behind it, is involved with the show.
I didn't even know it was coming out until you told me.
So that made me very excited because when it's a video game adaptation in a show, there's a
gotta
track
reach
record
marks,
for being
man.
very bad.
It's got to step up.
I knew that Neil Druckmann was involved with it, so I said, okay, I'm going to give this a chance, and it has a possibility of being a really good adaptation, where it's true to the source material. We talk about that all the time, about how
Right.
like you try
Why
to,
The Witcher was good.
yeah, and not good. Both. I mean, it was good because Henry Cavill was the best.
Right, and they
like-
try to take creative
and then the
liberties
Raiders
to it.
just, like,
yeah. They just
screwed
don't
it.
understand. That,
But-
hopefully that won't happen in this show.
So I wanted to review this episode because we're going to be doing every episode until it's over and putting it on the
Rightfully
board.
so. It comes out once a week.
And I want to review this from your perspective, being somebody you're completely new to the IP. Like, you don't even know what Last of Us is besides
heard of
like,
it.
me telling you.
I know people that have played it.
And then I will, like, interject what my thoughts are as somebody who's, like, played all the games and
Okay.
what I think about it from that perspective. So I want to ask you, like, you pressed play, knew very little about the series. So what did you think?
I rarely have seen a show come out and within the first, let's say 15 or 20 minutes, I was in. I was in the world.
Wow.
Because I loved how it opened up to that like 60s TV talk show with the guy whose name escapes me, but he's from The Mummy.
Yep.
And I like him. I think he's just so weird. I watched him in Spartacus, I believe he was in that.
He was. He was the head of the house.
Yes,
Yep.
and I thought that was a great show. So
It really was.
He comes with a good power behind him, and like the way he's explaining it is like he was plucking things out of my head because I believe that when the zombie apocalypse happens, it won't be like zombies.
Sure, right.
It'll be something
Hollywood zombies.
like this,
Like a fungus.
and which made too much sense. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty wicked. And then we jumped to early 2000s, 2003.
Yep.
So once we just jumped to 2003, I'm like, okay, time era, we all remember, near and dear.
It is. Really.
And Pedro Pascal, who, I've seen him in other things, Game of Thrones, he was The Mandalorian, things like that, which I've never seen Mandalorian, but still. I was
Shame
like, all
on
right,
you.
I was already comfortable with him. He was a dad with his daughter. His daughter was smart, doing things. I'm like, okay, are we just going to play in this realm? And then all of a sudden, we just took the wheel and just ripped it off the road.
Yeah.
Because you saw things slowly building up. It was like it was riding this like little step, and all of a sudden, okay, within the first half of the show, we have what happened, how it happened, and how it spread. And she handled it well. Things happened, tragic. And then 20 years later, we're in current times, and I love post-apocalyptic like things.
Okay.
Because it'll happen to all our structures, and everything we look at and everything we think is really cool is overgrown, dilapidated, and just falling apart. And we're building a society. So this show takes comparison to Walking Dead.
There's definitely parallels for sure.
We all
yes.
got The Walking Dead beat the hell out of us.
But in the beginning, we
It was
loved
great.
that. Though.
I loved
the first four
seasons of
of
Walking Dead.
were fantastic shows.
So now,
Fantastic.
this show comes out with that same vibe of early, but better. Because early on, you have The Walking Dead, you have this group that you're growing and all that, and it's just those people. But in reality, we know who's going to be calling the shots, and that's the government.
Yep.
They've taken full control. They've done what they've always wanted to do, is control us to no end.
Yep.
So the show takes us and opens up to a kid walking. I was like, okay, cool, main character. Coming down. We're going to get him. He's going to stick around, young kid, growing up in this, born in it, because obviously it's been 20 years since the outbreak. And no, he didn't make it long. They've developed a test system for whatever this fungus is. They don't know still much about it. I think the whole fungus idea is cool. I know you love your fungi.
Yeah, me in another universe is a mycologist
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Bella Ramsey, who was Ellie, she was also a love character in Game of Thrones of mine.
Yeah, I actually liked her too. She was really good. She was good in that show.
I had to look her up because I was like, I recognize her from somewhere, and I like
couldn't
it.
place it.
And I found it. I was like, as soon as I saw where I was like, there she is. Picture on her throat. I like her character. Something's wrong with her, but I think me not knowing anything, she's the answer to curing it. That's what they think, because she's infected, but not, because she tested red. And then, like, the little boy, as we saw, was tested red and then thrown into a fire.
We obviously feel the same thing about post-apocalyptic shows. There's just something appealing about like figuring out what happens after society collapses, because
it
all
will.
societies do. There's never been one society that's nope, they're just still going.
Great
so
empires
something happens
come
to
down.
those places, and like it's about like the degradation of all of our social structures
Yep.
and like our trust with law enforcement and the military and all that. So we're both kind of like predisposed to like shows like
Yeah.
that.
And this isn't a zombie. I don't. It's not.
This show started almost scene for scene with the game. How
Okay.
fast it happened.
I was gonna ask
the
that.
breakdown with Joel and his daughter and his brother Tommy in the beginning.
which we're also hunting
This
for.
town where everyone was like running through there was a big explosion. It was there. I mean, there was a couple scenes where it was like I remember they wore the same clothes. In the
Really?
game.
All right, I like
And
that.
So, as far as an adaptation from a game to a show, for one episode, it is as good as you can possibly do. And of course, I mean, we should expect that because Neil Druckmann, who created The Last of Us, is creating this as well. He's producing it, I believe.
I don't
So-
want to say that this is. So we get, you know how we look at episodes. This was a movie. We opened up with a movie.
It was about an hour and 30 minutes
Yeah,
almost.
it was a movie. It was
Yeah.
it was a small grade movie to me, and I think like all the graphics look good. I think the scenes look neat.
Yeah.
They really did well with everything. They really get you in with that atmosphere of this show. That hey, you're here now, and then what's going to happen? Like Joel obviously is a drug dealer. That's how he's been maintaining.
He's a smuggler.
Yeah, and he's doing good. So
whatever
he had a
needs to be
lot of
smuggled.
Tommy, his brother, is ex-military.
Yeah.
Because we found that in the 20. But then again, we jumped 20 years, and his birthday he was 36. I was like, he's a 56-year-old man.
Yeah.
Like looking good for in the situation he's in. Has a new woman, which she seems pretty rough, and I like her. And we're already out of the town. In one episode, we're on the run
This,
to the infected area.
This-
I just want to know how you get
this
infected,
show-
how it spreads, what happens.
I mean, throughout just goes.
Okay.
I mean, it's remarkable how good of a.
So
it's one of my
game
favorite
to show
games of
so
all
far,
time.
good.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like you can't get any better. It's so
Wow.
good that there are the things in the show. It's not a spoiler to tell you. They're called clickers. So they are
I knew that.
human infected. When they start to like produce like spores out of their face.
Yeah,
It's a-
you saw the
like
guy
you
in the
saw-
basement that was like against the wall. That
yeah.
like
By the
he
way,
exploded.
really awesome scene where they show like how he's on this like how the fungus like
Yeah.
grows out of you. It consumes your body. I thought that was so well done, but it's so accurate and true to the adaptation. The voice actors that clicked in the show in the game as the clickers, that noise that
Oh, that was pretty good.
they got the same voice actors to do them in the show.
Awesome.
So they're going to sound exactly the same. So, and part of like the most appealing part of the clickers is like that ominous noise that like it's completely dark. You don't know where
Yeah.
you are, and you just hear that noise around you.
It's somewhere.
It is going to be an awesome ride, and if it is as good the whole way through, you are going to love it.
I think they picked the right people. Stories hooked me. I obviously have an idea of where I think it's going because we have so much experience with these style of shows.
Yeah.
But it's doing something different. It's just different. And it makes me want to play the game, but I won't. But
You should
it's-
though. You really should.
it just I'm happy with
the
it.
warm's embrace of World of Warcraft will be there after you finish it in about 20 hours, 25 hours. Once you finish it, you'll go back to it, and you might actually think there is another game out there worth playing other than World of Warcraft. It might, maybe. I don't know. And it's linear, so you don't have to worry about like the Elden Ring problem where I tried to get him to play Elden Ring when it came out. That was a terrible idea.
Elden Ring wasn't a game, it's a slow torture. Like whoever marketed that as a game, it's not.
But for the reasons you hated Elden Ring, you would like Last of Us.
It's here. It's just take come here.
It gives you a little
Play.
corridor to play in.
Yeah, I'm
and then
good
you
with
go to another corridor and play in it, and you keep going and going and going.
And that's what I think the episode structure is going to be.
Yeah. If it
Little
is
corridor.
as true the whole way through as it is in episode 1, it is going to be a wild ride.
And I have a lot of questions about the clickers because, like, how are they? Well, I guess fungus just needs moisture and stuff to thrive. So, because if the guy in the beginning was explaining on the 60s TV show, it was like it takes over your brain.
Yeah.
You're now just like a vessel for
The
it.
budget for the show is over 100 million. Each episode is average over 10 million.
Wow.
to
Wow.
make each episode.
Yeah, because it's only 9 episodes.
Yep.
Once a week, and I'm excited.
About 10 million an episode.
I just, I've been excited before, and I just don't want to be let down. Which
I can, if it that's why I said if it's as true
Okay.
to the game as episode 1, not only are you not going to be disappointed, but you will play the game.
And from what I've read, like I've did a little bit of reading to see how the show's going over. So far, this first episode is just knocking it out.
I
of the
haven't
park.
seen one thing about people. The only thing I did see is they would have liked to see a little bit more from the clickers in episode 1.
Oh God, yeah.
But the
Just a
show
little
has
bit.
a right to like build you up for that cinematic
Yeah.
experience, where the game was like trying to throw you in because there's game mechanics. So
So we have to build the people for me who don't
Yeah,
know what's going on.
exactly. And
I'm there to. You got to hook the simple mind.
you have to make the clickers a little bit more horror element, like
Right.
the introduction to them, than they were in the game. Like in the game, it was just like, here they are, start shooting. So
well, you saw that
know,
when he was carrying his daughter. The thing was just running after him and like
they
running through
run
things
like 28
and
days
tripping.
later, don't they?
And
they move the same way.
that's the bad form of, I'll say zombie, but
Yeah.
that's the bad
We can call
form of
them
zombies, because
Mushroom zombies.
it's going to get you. Because they don't run
I'm
out
so
of
happy
steam.
you like this show.
No,
so
I'm
far. I'm so happy.
Very excited to get more into it. It was first episode was there's a lot more questions. The story literally just started because we have an infected amongst them too, but not. We have she is important. Got to get somewhere. I do like the rebels. I think their idea is
Fireflies?
pretty cool. Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like obviously they're like every other rebel doing nothing. They're just in the background spray painting things. Nothing, not doing anything relevant. But it
to
was
stand up to like the
Yeah.
military and you know,
yeah, because that's the road we're headed.
they hung people for going out
Oh!
that came in. They hung people for that were
Public
in that went
hangings.
out.
Yeah.
I mean they have a tight
Yeah,
grip.
because
on
if
this
you bring
society.
that in,
yeah,
you've infected everybody.
yeah, it's true.
And it's like there's a structure of societal structure. Don't mess it up.
It's real flimsy.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
people are meant
That's
to
built
burn
on
bodies
toothpicks.
and others aren't.
I'm so glad you like it because I am like beyond excited to just like relive The Last of Us. Like,
Okay.
I'm just like it's been so long for me that it's like I'm trying to forget the game so that way even though I knew what was going on in every scene, I still was on the edge of my seat. That's how good the
Right,
story
because you're
is.
seeing it in a different way now.
So that was episode 1 of The Last of Us on HBO Max.
Awesome.
We're going to be reviewing it every week, like we said. If you like what we're doing around here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you for episode 2.
It's my God, can't get it's all fight and get out.